Hello, good everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Fred. Now, welcome to the part 2 of this video. This is actually the part 2, okay? Tangents and tangency. Now, if you are new here, you might want to see the part 1 of this video, because in the part 1, we treated quite a lot of examples. Now, I treated how to draw internal and external tangent to circles. For external tangent to 2 equal circles, internal tangent to 2 unequal circles, internal tangent to 2 equal circles, external tangent to 2 unequal circles, and finally we treated internal tangent to 2 unequal circles. You might want to see and check them out, check out all of this in the first video, the part 1, before moving over to this one. Now in this video we are going to be treating internal arcs and external arcs, okay, to circles, not straight lines, that is tangent this time around, okay? We are going to be dealing with arcs. All right, now take a look at this. Now if you have a bigger circle, or if you like an arc, okay, and you have the arc touching 2 other circles in this form, all right, look at it very well, study it. This arc is said to be what? Internal to these 2 circles. Why? Because these 2 circles are found lying where? On the outer circumference of this what? This bigger arc. Internal arc. If you find out that the arc is in this form, you have both circles inside like this. Okay? Now remember, this circle, they can be equal, they can be different in radius or diameter, as the case may be. Now, if it is hugging both circles in this form, you can see that it's like they are both on the inside of the bigger arc. So if the arc is going through it like this, called what? External arc. It is called external arc. Then if you have it in this form, now what do you notice here? Look at internal arc when the circle is outside the circumference of the bigger arc, outside. So it is what? Internal to this arc. This circle A is internal to this arc, all right, while this circle B is what? External. That is this form now. Is external to this arc. Now what I'm going to be doing is to show you how to construct all of these 3 and more. Okay, real quick, we want to draw an internal arc to 2 unequal circles, okay? Now the parameters has been given. This big arrow you're looking at here is the radius of the internal arc, this one, all right? Now both circles R1 and R2, 40 mm and 20 mm respectively. Now line AB is the center of both circles, okay? The distance between the center of the circles, the center of the circle AB is 100. So what you do is you draw both circles first. So the radius of the first one is 40, you stretch 40. Make sure you stretch correctly, all right? Stretch 40. So needle and draw. Remember, we are dealing with internal arc. So draw the circle. This is 40. All right. Now draw the center line, the diameter, and extend. So draw a line through the diameter of the circle like this. Extend out. Now what is call the center here A. All right. Center of the circle here A. Now AB is given to be what? 100. So align your ruler like this and measure 100. That is 10 centimeters. My 0 being on my A. All right. And this is what? 10. This point becomes the center of the second circle. Now what's the center of the second circle? The radius of the second circle, 20. So measure 20 here. Make sure it is exact. All right. So with this 20, needle at this point here where you measured 100. Remember, these parameters can vary for questions. And draw the other circle. Good. If you like, you can erase this extension. All right, so we have both of them. Now, what is the rule for internal and external tangents? All right, remember I told you, for internal tangent, when it is internal, all right, you what? You add you add. But for external tangent, what do? For external tangent, you subtract. So I'm going to treat that when we get to external tangent. So what are you adding? You are adding the radii of the external arc with each of the radius of the external arc with each of the radii of the smaller circles. I'm referring to circle A and circle B. This is center B, please. Now I want to draw an internal tangent to touch both circles. What am I going to do? I am going to add the radii. That is this big R here for the arc, the big arc. I'm going to add it to each of these to draw an arc. You will understand as I explain further. Now, R is 60. That's the big R now, is 60. Now, what is the radius of A? Circle A. I might want to change these ones to RA and RB. That is radius of circle A and radius of circle B. I hope it's clearer this way. Now, the radius of A is 40. I will add. Don't forget. If 60 plus 40 will give you 100 mm, right? Now, for B, I will add it to 60 also. So for this, I used R plus RA. For the other one, I used R plus RB, which is 60 plus 20. This is equal to 80. All right? Good. Now, stretch 100 for RA. RA now, the center of RA. Stretch 100 because we added. So this is 100. That is 10 cm. Make sure it is exact. So here I have 100. Now, needle on A. Remember, we are dealing with RA. Needle on the center A. And describe an arc. Just draw a long arc. Rest. All right? Now, what is the radius that you're going to stretch for center B? So for RB, we have 60 plus 20, which is 80. So you stretch 80. That's 8. Here we have 8. Needle on B. And cut this arc. So they are intersecting at this point. All right? Now, remember you are drawing an internal arc. What is the radius of the internal arc? It's 60. So now go and stretch. Remember, all of these are thin lines. Stretch 60 on your pair of compass. So that's 60. All right? The radius of the bigger arc. So with the 60 needle here at this point of intersection. All right? Now, don't alter the radius. Draw an arc. The arc will just touch both circles. Thick line. Draw thick line. And it will be tangential to both circles, like this. Like it won't go in, it won't come out. It won't go in, it won't come out, if you have constructed correctly. So this is how to construct an internal arc to two unequal circles. Remember, we are going to be applying everything that I'm explaining in these videos. We are going to be applying them to drawing all of this. All right? Some of the examples on this textbook. All right, now let's look at external arc to two unequal circles. Okay, here for the external arc, we already have our parameters here. So this time around, we have the external arc to be drawn. The radius to be 100. All right? I'm talking about this. I want to do something like this now, right? The radius of this now is 100. Then the radii for both circles remains 40. Now remember, it can vary depending on the question. And the distance between the center of the circles is 100, all right? So draw both circles again. Okay, so I've succeeded in doing that. Remember, I used these parameters here, okay? So for 40, I stretch 40 and I describe the circle with the center. Then I measured the distance between the centers is AB. A, B. The distance between the center is 100. I measured 100 there. Then I needled here, stretching 20. All right? And I drew the small circle. All right, so now for external, the first one we did was what? Was an internal arc. Now for external arc, what do? You subtract. For external arc, you what? You subtract. So how are we going to go about it? So R now for center A, that is the bigger circle with radius what? 40, is going to be what? R plus what? Sorry, we are subtracting. R minus RA. Then for this one is what? R minus RB. So for this we have 100 minus 40, which is what? 60 mm. And for this we have 100 minus 20, which is what? 80 mm. I hope that's clear. Okay, now please remember these additions for internal and subtraction for what? External. Very, very important. Now for RA now, for the radius of this bigger circle now, okay, we have to stretch what? 60 mm. So stretch 60 mm on your ruler. Make sure it is 60 on the dot. All right, with this 60, you needle on A. Remember it is what? RA. And draw an arc. Any length of your choice. Right? Good. Now for RB, the smaller circle, you stretch what? 80 mm. So I'm going to stretch 80 mm here. Ensure it is 80 on the dot. Alright, so you needle on B and cut this arc. I hope that's clear. Cut the arc, needle on B and cut this arc. I might want to reduce this a little bit, it's too long. Alright, so here you have your point of what? Intersection. So now, how do you now draw your external arc? Now remember the radius of the external arc is what? 100. So stretch 100 now. Stretch 100, which is 10. All right. Now make sure it is exact. Now if you have constructed all of this, if you have done everything correctly, there should be no mistakes. So needle on this point of intersection here. All right. And describe an arc. The arc will just what? Touch both circles what? Internally. Can you see that? Thick arc. Can you see that? It won't come in, it won't go out. You understand? So this is how to construct what? An internal arc. Now the next one, I'm going to show you how to what? Construct what? An arc internal to one circle and external to the other one. Alright. So we want to attempt something like this. Now the radius of the arc, this big arc here, is 70 mm. The radius of A is 35, while the radius of B is what? 20. All right. The distance between centers of AB is what? 100. So I am going to what? Draw. I'm going to project using this dimension. Okay. So for RA is 35. That is 3.5. So you stretch 3.5 on the dot, then describe a circle with it. All right, then connect the diameter and extend. All right, good. Now what is the distance between the centers? Is 100. So you measure 100, 0, 10, that's 100. All right, so the radius of the other one is 20. Stretch 20. Needle on the other point and draw the other circle. So there we have it. You can remove the extensions. All right. Okay, so the question is, how are we going to go about drawing the arc internal to one and external to the other? Now the question is, the arc we're going to be drawing right now is going to be what? Internal to what? Circle A, and it's going to be external what? Towards circle B. So you are going to apply the principle of tangency, of addition and subtraction, that is for internal and external, to both to be able to get it. Now remember, this is what radius, this is center AB, okay, and the radius here is arrow A and the radius here is arrow B. All right, now for this circle it is touching it internally, so you apply the internal principle. Now when it is touching internally, what do? You add, right? So for this circle we are going to have what? R plus RA. For this other one we're going to have what? R minus RB. Why? Because it is internal to A and external to what? B. So for here, for this part, I hope you can see that. Okay, we have 70 plus 35, which is 105. All right, and for this part we have 70 minus 20, which is equal to what? 50. I hope that's clear. Now stretch 105 here. Sorry, that is 10.5. So here I have 10.5. All right, I hope that's clear. Needle on A, describe an arc, make sure it is long enough. All right, now for this, remember it is external, so we have applied the what? Sorry, internal to this, we have applied the internal principle to this one. We are now going to apply the what? The external principle to this one. We've already done that, so we have 50 here. Stretch 50 on the dots. So there I have my 50. Needle on the center and cut this arc. So we have this point of intersection here. I hope that's clear. Now what is the radius of the arc? It is 70. Now stretch 70 on your pair of compass. Remember, you have to be exact with your dimensions and measurement. So this is 70 here. Now I'm going to needle on this point of intersection. All right, if I describe an arc, it is going to be what? Internal to this circle and external to this one. It is not going to be, the circle is not going to drift in or out on this side. It's going to be exact, and that's only if you have constructed correctly. So here we have it. So you can see internal to this and external to this one. Now, peradventure, in the process of construction, if you discover there are errors, that means you made a mistake during the construction. Start all over again and ensure your pair of compasses are tight enough. All right, and you will get it. All right. So the next thing I'm going to be talking about now is which is actually the last thing I'm going to be talking about is when you have curves connecting what? Two straight lines, okay, at right angles, at acute angle and at obtuse angle. Okay, when you have a curve, how do you draw the curve? All right, and remember, every chord has a radius. All right, every chord has a radius with which you drew it. You understand? So we're going to be looking at that now. Okay, for right angle and acute, we're going to be using a radius of 20 for this curve, okay, that is connecting both lines. All right, then for this we're also going to be using 20, radius of 20. For this third one we're going to be using radius of 30. Okay, so now draw a line now we are just using dimension of our choice. All right, so now there is something I want to mention. All right, there is something I would like to mention. If you want to draw a line parallel to each other, all right, for example, now if you have a line AB, let's say this is a line and the line is AB. All right. I want to draw another line parallel to this line, like another line here, parallel. And I want the distance. Let me just show you quickly what I meant. I'm having these two lines here. This is just a rough drawing, AB and CD. The distance between these two lines, let's say 40 mm. Okay, so how do I go about it? Do I just draw a line and adjust my ruler 40 and draw another line? No, there is a construction way of going about that. Okay, so what you do is, if you are to draw a line parallel to another line and the distance between both lines is 40, draw the first line AB, then stretch 40 on your pair of compass. Now it could be any dimension. It could be 40, it could be 8, it could be 80, it could be 50, it could be 20, as the case may be. So you stretch 40 on your pair of compass. All right, locate any two convenient points of your choice. Okay, so for example, just choose any point along the line and draw an arc. Describe an arc, thin lines. Arc number 1. Choose another point, any rough approximate point of your choice, and draw another arc. Make sure you draw the arcs very well. All right, now connect the tangent of these two circles by placing your ruler like this. All right, and you draw. Now this line CD is parallel to line AB. This is one way to draw a parallel line. All right, then another way to draw a parallel line, let me just quickly explain using this, is if you have a line AB, for example, and you want to draw another line parallel to it, let's say the distance is what, 3 centimeters apart. All right, good. You can use your set square. So ensure you align your set square. All right, either in this form, align the edge of your set square with the line, or you can use here as your reference. So you can align your set square like this. Ensure that you are drawing a perpendicular line. Do you understand? So you align properly such that when you draw a line to a perpendicular, so you draw a very thin line up. You call this line a guideline. Then after doing that, you now measure 3 on it. So this is 3. All right. After doing that, then transfer the line. So you align your set square with this line. Support with your ruler and move and draw a line through that point where you measure 3. So this is CD. So this line is parallel to this one. The distance between them is what, 3 centimeters. All right, now let's go over. Let's move over to our example. Now let's deal with the one with right angle. All right, so draw any line right angle to each other. So this is actually a right. These two lines, they are thin lines. Don't draw them thick. So extend them. Don't draw them thick line yet. And let them intersect. Right, so these two lines, they are right angles to each other. Now I want to connect both lines with an arc of what, 20 radius. So how do I do that? Now this is the law. If you want to connect two straight lines with an arc, all right, now let's call this point BCA. So we have line AB and line BC. Now what you're going to do is, with the radius given, it can be any radius, 20, 30, 40, all right, just pick the radius that is given and draw lines parallel to both lines. If you draw line parallel to both lines, they will intersect. At the point of intersection, you can now stretch the particular radius and draw the arc. Now this is what I mean. So if this is line AB and this is line AB and line BC, and there is a curve connecting line AB and line BC, that is this curve now, and the radius of the curve is 20. What I'm going to do is, I will draw another line parallel to BC, and I will draw another line here parallel to what, AB. This line and this line, they will intersect at a point. Now what is going to be the distance of the line? The distance of the line is what, the 20 radius has been given. All right, so let me use the first method. All right, I'm going to stretch 20 on my pair of compass. So this is 20 here. All right, so I will choose any two points along line BC and draw an arc. Arc number 1, arc number 2. All right, and I will connect the what? Tangent with a thin line. I will extend it a little bit. Then I'll move over to line what? BA or AB. Any 2 points of your choice. Arc number 1. Arc number 2. And draw a line tangential to both arcs. Like this. Now, these 2 lines are intersecting at this point. Alright? Okay. So you now stretch the radius 20. Or, okay, let's do that. So this is the radius 20. Alright? Then you are now going to needle at this point of intersection. But before you draw, from this point, draw lines perpendicular to line AB and line perpendicular to what? Line BC. So, because this is 90 degree, the angle between both of them are 90 degree, there is no point trying to there's no point trying to use my my set square to drop that 90. All I have to do is extend this line to touch and extend this line to touch. So I will needle at this point. All right, it's touching this point, so let me call this point E and F. All right, so if it is touching E, it should be touching F as well. I hope that's clear. Then with this radius 20, remember the radius is what? It's 20. So I will now describe the arc with, sorry, that was a mistake there. Sorry about my arc. I guess my pair of compass is not tight enough. Okay, so you just draw the arc, then you cannot extend this with a thick line from this point up with a thick line, and from here with a thick line. So this is how to connect the edges or connect 2 straight lines with an arc, all right, of a particular radius. Now that is for what? Right angle. Now let's go to what? Acute angle real quick. Now draw any acute angle of your choice, all right? Just acute angle, that's less than 90 degree of your choice. All right, the radius is still 20. Now apply the same principle. Now let me call this A, B, C again. Now, if the radius that is connecting both lines is 20, like I rightly indicated here, all right, so repeat the same process. Now this is line AB. Draw a line parallel to line AB of radius 20. I hope that's clear. So I'm just quickly going to use the other method of drawing a perpendicular line because I want to be fast. So if I align my set square properly, I'll draw a line, then I'll measure 20 on that line. So this is 10, 20. I hope you know it's the same thing as this. 20, all right? I will transfer this line. So you you align your set square like that and draw a thin line here. Now this line is parallel to BC. Now I'm going to draw another line here parallel to what? AB. So what am I going to do? I will align my set square like this again, anywhere. Make sure it is perpendicular. I will draw a thin line, a guideline. Then I will measure what on it? I will measure 20 on it because the radius is what? 20. So here I have 20. Then I will transfer lines from here. Align your set square with a line. Transfer to where you have 20 here and draw a line, thin line, and let it intersect at this point. I hope that's clear. Good. Now this is where you are going to needle your what? Pair of compass to draw. Then once again, remember you have to look for a line that is perpendicular to this line and that is perpendicular to this line. So how do you achieve that? You use your set square. So align your set square with this, all right? Support with your ruler and move until you get to what? This point of intersection, and draw a thin line, or if you like, you can just put broken lines there, all right? This is indicative of the fact that the arc you are going to draw, we're going to start from here and we end somewhere there, which I'm going to indicate now. So align your set square again with this. Align properly here, because I want to draw a perpendicular line. Support with your ruler, and here, transfer here. All right, so if I needle, this is 20, this distance is 20 already, so if I needle here, you see it should be touching here, and it should also touch here at the same time. I hope that's clear. So with that, you now describe, it must not exceed. The reason for this line is so you will know where to stop your arc and where to start it from. So you start from here and you stop here. Sorry about that, I'm having issues with this pair of compass. All right, so that's it. Then you extend this part, and you extend this part. Sorry, let me place that very well. So that's it. Now the last one we're going to be talking about is obtuse. So you apply the same method to what? Obtuse. So I'll just quickly draw that and I will explain. Okay, so here it is. So this is an obtuse angle. So I just drew any angle of my choice. All right. Now this time around, I told you the R is what? Radius of the arc is what? Is 30. So I measured 30 and I drew a line parallel to BC. I also measured 30 and I drew a line parallel to AB, and they intersected. So what I did was to use my set square to what? Drop perpendiculars, align with my ruler from here down. Then I also align my set square here like this, perpendicular from here down. So I have this telling me I'm going to start from here, my arc, and I will end here. So with this, you needle here, you stretch here. I hope you can see that clearly. Needle here, you stretch here, and you draw the arc starting from here, and you stop there. I hope that's clear. Yes. So what you do next is you extend the lines from here to that direction, and from here to this direction, and that's it. All right, so I hope you understood everything that's been explained. Go back to the part 1 of this video and follow every step that was explained in the video. Where you don't understand, ask question, drop your question in the comment box, and I will attend to your questions. Now my next upload is going to be application of tangency. So everything that I've taught you in part 1 and part 2 of this video, I am going to apply them to drawing things, anchor of ships, crest of school badges, you know, part of machines such as these ones you're looking at, spanners, all right, okay, the plan of a swimming pool, you know, part of machines. Then there is a just concluded examination that was written, a WAEC. I'm also going to apply it to what? Answering this question as well. All right, thank you for watching. Subscribe to this channel and recommend to anyone who you think would be in need of these lessons. See you next time.